Korean, mythological beings. There are many stories about her origin and her ability to seduce men and eat their heart, without resentment. She can turn into a seductive woman, in front of whom men cannot resist, falling in love, on the spot. In Chinese mythology, it is known as Hulijing, in Japanese as kitsune. In both cultures it is known as a benevolent spirit, but in Korea, being an evil spirit. Gumiho, in Korean mythology, are fascinating, and incredibly dangerous, nine-tailed fox, that can assume the appearance of young and beautiful women. In that form, she can talk and act like a human, however, they still retain some of their fox-like features such as, the paws of their feet, or the fox ears on their heads. According to the legend, foxes that live 1,000 years, become Gumihos. Gumiho transform themselves, as beautiful women, in order to seduce men, and then, eat their livers or hearts. There are many variations of this legend. Another variation of the legend is that a Gumiho can permanently become human, by abstaining from ingesting a human's liver or heart, for a 1,000-day period. Another states that a Gumiho can permanently remain human, if it eats a liver per day, for 1,000 days. Shaped like a lion, with a horn on his forehead, from Korean mythology is known as a guardian, that fends off fire and disasters. Hidey is also known as a mythical animal, that can tell right from wrong, and is often associated with justice and law. Hidey has many powers, including the ability to stop, go back, or fast forward through time. This unusual creature can also bite the moon, explaining the moon's waning period, and create an eclipse. He is often seen outside, and inside of Korean houses, placed as powerful guardian against Earth's most destructive elements. Bulgy are fire dogs in Korean mythology, that come from the kingdom of darkness, and always chase the sun and moon, causing eclipses, when they bite both celestial bodies. They are strong and fierce dogs, which are likely to be the indigenous Korean dog breed Sasari, which means, ghost-chasing dog. According to the Korean myths, there were many realms of heaven. One of them, the kingdom of darkness, was called Gamangnara, the dark world. The king of this world was concerned and weary with the darkness, and desired the light of the sun and moon for his kingdom. He sent one of the gigantic fiery hounds, the Bulgy, belonging to one of his dark world subjects, to chase the sun and bring it to his realm. However, when the Bulgy tried to bite the sun, was too hot, which made the dog not able to hold it anymore, giving up, and running back to the king. This failed attempt made the king angry, since he couldn't have the sun. In another attempt to get rid of the darkness, he sent another more ruthless dog, to steal the moon. When the Bulgy tried to take the moon, was so cold, that froze his mouth and escaped the moon. He tried many times in many different ways to grab the moon, but gave up and ran back to the king in disappointment. The king never gave up this mission though. He continued to send fire dogs, that were fiercer than the other, but none were able to complete the mission. There once was a village, where there lived a rabbit, a fox, and a monkey, who often played together. One day, the great emperor in the heavens decided to test the animals' loyalty to him. He came down from the sky, disguised as a beggar, and asked the animals each to bring him something to eat. The three animals instantly set out to honor the poor man's request. The fox returned to the beggar with a fish, the monkey with some fruit. The rabbit, being a small animal, unfortunately, was only able to bring back the grass he could gather. Ashamed at his feeble offering, the rabbit, in an act of self-sacrifice, proceeded to ignite the grass he'd gathered, and threw himself into the flames, to be eaten by the beggar, as a meal. The action of the rabbit touched the beggar emperor, that he placed the rabbit on the moon, to become his guardian, and surrounded him with smoke, as a reminder to all of the rabbit's noble death. Thus was born The legend of the moon rabbit, to be told for centuries to come. The rabbit is a significant symbol within Korea, because of this touching folk tale. Rabbits are said to be symbols of fertility. Jungsaja, known as Grim Reaper, is another popular being in the Korean myths. They're meant to guide those who have just passed away into the afterlife. Traditionally, they wore a black hanbok, coupled with a black hat. Because a Grim Reaper is usually met upon death, and is considered a bad omen, the Jungsaja is a feared figure among Koreans. Dokbi are legendary creatures from Korean mythology. Dokbi, also known as Korean goblins, are nature deities, spirits possessing extraordinary powers and abilities, that are used to interact with humans, at times playing tricks on them, and at times helping them. The physical appearance of the Dokbi is presented in many different ways, and has varied by different time periods, but they have always been depicted as fearsome and awe-inspiring. Imogi is a dragon that resembles more of a serpent. There are many different stories to tell the origins. Imogi also have many other names, which include Ishimi, Miri, Bari. The legend of that dragon says that the sun god gave him their power through a human girl, which would be transformed into the Imogi on her 17th birthday. Korean mythology describes Imogi as dragon in training, who needs to survive 1,000 years to convert into a fully grown dragon, young. After surviving for 1,000 years, the Imogi waits to catch the Yoiju, similar to falling star, that is known to grant wishes, falling from the sky. If the Imogi catches it, his wish will be granted, and it will become a dragon far greater in power and sense of judgment. Some peoples believe that a human named Akuma was the first living being that came in contact with this beast. At that time, Imogi was as an egg. Akuma helped Imogi to hatch and grow into his adult form, thereby creating a strong brotherly bond with it. Some say that the Korean sun goddess created Imogi through human girls. The girls are imprinted with a dragon symbol on their shoulders. The day she turns 17, she is converted to an Imogi.